Hello everybody, this is Connor Hayden. I am the main developer behind blitzkampfer. This is mainly just going to be a bit of a color commentary. I'm not really showing off anything too crazy. I'm just going to be talking about the game. Potentially also, discussing what it is for anybody who's new to the channel, all that, who's new to these videos, all that kind of stuff. So first off, blitzkampfer is a open world shoot 'em up. So basically, think of it like Swarm, which is a shoot 'em up in space, and then you take that and mix it with Solar 2, which is like an open world exploration game with a lot of combat in it. So yeah, give me a second. I'm just gonna plug in my laptop and make sure that it starts charging, and we will get into this. Here we go. Okay, so we're just gonna be jumping into this now. So this title screen is completely placeholder. Not a single bit of anything that you currently see on this title screen will be in the final game, but it's good for me just to be able to use it, right? So, or just in the meanwhile, it's good for me to be able to have something I can launch all my stuff from. So first of all, we have the main game. The main game is an open world. It's just a standard open world with randomly spawning events and portals and stuff. And the entire point of the game is just explore, kill things, have fun. That's literally the entire point of it. There are several bosses that randomly spawn throughout the world. You have different races, each of them with their own disposition. I do not know. I am planning on having it so that there's something called global disposition. So like if you actually harm one particular race enough, they'll like turn on you, and they'll start like sending like fleets of other larger ships after you. But currently that is not in the game, and it probably won't be in the game for a little while, as I myself am not really too experienced in that kind of thing. But I'm definitely trying at it, right? I'm definitely working at it. I'm not gonna like disillusion you guys or hype it up in any way. This game is a labor of love for me in every way, shape, and or form. But I'm not gonna make it seem like it's the greatest thing on earth. Like, I'm not going to overhype it. But yeah. So currently in the game, we have 4 event types. We have survival, we have hold the point, we have gauntlet, and then we have bosses. With bosses, I guess that's mainly right now the entire point of the game, is to kill all the bosses. But the bosses themselves are excruciatingly difficult, as are most of the events in this game. The bosses themselves are usually in the 1,000 to 2,000 to even 4,000 range in terms of health, whereas most other enemies in the game are around the 10 to 60 range, with this little guy over here that depletes your score. Bosses are usually ludicrously difficult. They usually have many different attack patterns and animations and stuff, and overall they're the big baddies, I guess, of the entire game. What I'm doing right now is currently I am playing survival mode. So survival mode is a event where you go through and just try to survive as long as possible. As you go through, there's just going to be wave after wave after wave of these larger enemies that will constantly seek to cause harm to you. Basically, it is a high risk for high reward game mode, as is most of the game modes in this game. With time, after a little while, the portal to get home will actually spawn, and then you can get out of the level. So give me a second while I try to kill him. The open world in question here is actually a 10,000 by 10,000 map. That is 10,000 pixels by 10,000 pixels, which is quite nice. It's a large, sizable open world. I'm not gonna really again disillusion you guys by saying it's vast. It's large enough to be able to have some fun little encounters exploring it. It doesn't feel small, but it's not large enough that you can get yourself completely and utterly lost. One sec. How do I pause this again? Unpause. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to get out of the whole event that I was just in. I actually have a whole like hotkey that I can use to reset that, but that's not gonna be in the final game probably. It's probably just gonna be you're gonna get what you get, but for now it's nice to be able to get through here. So this is one of the elders. This is one of the bosses. Also, literally the weakest possible boss in this game. What he does is he throws out a ton of random... he throws out a ton of thick strings of bullets, which damage you over time. Or not really over time, but just in general, they pack a huge punch. When you kill this guy, it gives you close to 2,000 score, and it will just spawn the home portal. This guy is, again, the weakest. He is not even close to as challenging as, say, the Harrier or the final boss, and it is a little bit buggy because I'm not too used to testing this dude, as you can probably tell by the fact that he literally just stopped spraying bullets anywhere, which is not very good. Yeah, so that's that guy. We then also have the Harrier, and we have the, what did I call it? The warship, the frigate. But the Harrier is based off of Metal Gear Solid 2, which is a big, like, I am a huge fanboy of the Metal Gear Solid franchise back when Hideo Kojima was still with Konami. I'm very much interested to see how Death Stranding is also going to be. Like, Hideo Kojima at his craziest tends to be a very, very interesting dude. I'm probably not going to get into the whole politics of other games with you guys. That's mainly for my main YouTube channel where I do all of my basic video logs and stuff. But, yeah. It's currently how it is. The frigate is a combination of the Harrier and the elders, which is quite interesting. It is a very, very, very fun boss to fight, mainly because it utilizes all the different attack combinations of every other enemy in the game. Or not really every other enemy, but every other boss, which is quite cool. It's also still very buggy. At the moment, probably the most completely, like, awesomely fixed ship in the game is the most fixed boss in the game at the moment is probably going to be the Harrier, but that is how it is right now. What you probably just could see partially, like, for a couple seconds there, where there was a yellow ship that just passed by that didn't actually outright harm me. That yellow ship is a part of a race called the and this green ship here is a part of the race called the Vom. These guys are outright not hostile towards you. They only grow hostile to you when you lower their disposition enough. So see how it has a 0 beside the 50 there? The 50 is its health, but the 0 is its disposition. If I harm it, that is now down to negative 22 disposition, and suddenly it starts spraying a bullet whip out behind it. So that has made him outright trying to avoid you. And if you harm him even more, if I can find him again, if you harm him even more, he will outright start trying to hunt you down and kill you. The idea behind how that works, like this is a member of the right? Is eventually when you get like when you draw their ire enough, they will start sending warships against you, and they will start outright trying to harm you without question.